Doe Deer says, in a way, focusing on Trump is diverting us from addressing the problem. We put him down in office. We are the problem. Again, I read this article on CNN a couple of weeks ago, and the title of the article was something along the lines of, Trump is trying to be inescapable. And he is. He's absolutely trying to be inescapable. I think he's trying to generate attention. I think he's trying to generate he's trying to generate conversation. He's trying to generate debate. He's trying to generate anger and that kind of thing. I really do. I believe it. He really wants to be known. He wants to be on everybody's mind. He wants to be like super hyper mega famous. And that is going to be a problem for us. Now, as I say this, I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk a little bit about something that he said on Twitter not terribly long ago. I think it might have been early Sunday morning. And I believe this statement of his, which is incredibly problematic, but also vague enough that we really don't know what it is that he's saying, nor do his supporters know what he's saying. It's going to be up to us and to determine for ourselves, what is he trying to get at here? Anyway, here's what he says. He who saves his country does not violate any law. Now, my understanding is that this is a take from something Napoleon would have said years and years and years ago. But he said it. It was a late night. My understanding it was a late night tweet. I'm looking at it now and it says 1:32. But my understanding it was a late night tweet. Anyhow, the bottom line is what does he mean? He who saves his country does not violate any law. Okay, does that mean that if I save my country, that nothing I've done can be seen as a violation of the law because I did it for this reason, that I can't possibly break the law, even if it's like murder. If I murdered people, it's not considered violating the law because I was doing it to save my country. Or does he mean anybody who's out there to save the country would never violate the laws of the country? Now, I don't know. And it's just vague enough. It's just vague enough that it could be either. So again, as I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about this concept, well, he who saves his country, how does that connect to the law? It seems like there's probably a biblical principle here. He who saves his country doesn't violate the law, does not violate any law. How does the law fit into this, biblically speaking? And then I thought about this line. He who saves his country fulfills the law. When it comes to the law, we think about it in terms of breaking the law. Did I break the law? By doing something, did I break the law? By doing this, did I break the law? By doing that, did I break the law? Am I in violation of the law somehow? Are the police going to show up and arrest me because I broke the law? Am I going to have to go to court and defend myself in the court of law? Am I going to be found guilty by a judge and a jury? Am I going to go to jail because I broke the law? When it comes to the law, we often think about breaking. I mean, even from the faith perspective, you must keep the law. 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 Don't break the law. Don't be in violation of the law because that's sin and that's bad. But I wonder if there's another way that we're supposed to be looking at the law, and I believe it is. And so especially when it comes to our communities, when it comes to our neighborhoods, when it comes to our families, when it comes to our countries, it's not about keeping the law. That makes us good citizens. When we live inside the law of the land, we are good citizens. And no, I don't believe that if you do something horrible in the name of saving your country, that you didn't violate the law. Breaking the law is breaking the law is breaking the law, according to the legal statutes. But when it comes to being a Christian, if I truly want to save the world, and this does come back to, I think, what Doe Deer is getting into here, I must focus myself on fulfilling the law. And the Bible tells us that to fulfill the law, we must carry one another's burdens. In Galatians, if you carry one another's burdens, you are fulfilling the law. If you love one another, you are fulfilling the law. Jesus tells us in the 2 great commandments, if you love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body, and you love your neighbor as yourself, on these 2 things hang all the law and the prophets. All the words of the prophets, all the warnings of the prophets, all the directions of the prophets, all the written laws, all of them are fulfilled as we love one another. And as we love one another, we demonstrate clearly our love for God. We need to focus on this. This is a big deal. To make the world a better place, we must live up to our responsibility to our neighbor. We must love them. And by loving them, we will save our country. And by loving them, we will save our neighborhoods. And by loving them, we will save our states and our provinces. And by loving them, we will bring about a better world. Oh, I'm going to save my country. Then fulfill the law. I'm going to save my country. Then bear your neighbor's burdens. I'm going to save my country. Then carry your neighbors. Take care of those people who are on the margins. Take care of those people who are at the edge of our society. Show them mercy. Show them kindness, compassion, and charity. In these ways, you are fulfilling the law. In these ways, you are living up to the warnings. You are living up to the directions. You are living up to the call of the prophets and indeed of Jesus Christ himself. This is how a country gets saved. This is how a country gets saved, when we are willing to love as radically as Jesus calls us to love. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, he'll get that. I'm not. But it's up to you and I anyway. We have to get this. You and I have to get this. And you and I have to practice this. And as you and I practice this and we encounter others, we must encourage them to join us in practicing this. We've got to empower them to practice this on their own. We've got to lift them up and support them in practicing this kind of nation building, this kind of community building. A country that is saved with blood, they don't heal very well. A country that is saved through corruption and injustice, a country that is saved with authoritarianism and tyranny, a country that is saved by violating the laws, one would have to ask what kind of country that is, and is it worth living in? But a country that is built, a country that is saved on a populace whose joy is found in carrying one another's burdens, whose purpose and life is found in carrying one another's burdens. That's a country that everyone wants to be a part of. That's a country worth living in. That's a country worth being proud of. Amen.